Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife review for you. Today, we have the Spyderco Techno 2. I am by no means the first person to review this. It's been around a little bit, but I didn't drop the coin on one. Luckily, a viewer was generous enough to loan this to me, and I very much appreciate it. Really cool little knife. It is a Marcin swish design. I know we used to all say sleesh, but Nick Shabazz pointed out in one of his videos that he was told it was swish. And I asked some of my Eastern European friends, and they agreed it probably is swish. So I'm going to go with swish. That's what we're going to say. SLYSZ. Really good with languages, not so much good with that. Very, very cool little knife. I do have to say I'm quite happy I got my hands on it. It is a Taichung made Spyderco XHP steel, full titanium frame lock, in that little big knife category, which I do like a whole lot, as you will see here when we do size comparisons. I have a few of them. So let's get going. Let's talk about some stats and stuff first of all. First off, most important stat, $214. Not terribly inexpensive. Not crazy. That's kind of what the Swish Taichung Spydercos have been going for. A little less than some of the other ones, like the Spidey Chef and the Bowie. The Bowies now, they don't make them anymore, so good luck finding one of those in the secondary market for less than like $400. They go insane money now. So if you want to get something of his design, it's actually not that bad a price. It's less than a Spidey Chef, which is obviously a much larger knife, but you know what I'm saying. It's not an insane price. It's high, but it's not insane. We'll get to that more at the end. It is a small knife, as I said, overall length of just under 6 inches. Again, these are 1/2 inch squares here. You have a blade length of 2.55 inches, blade thickness of 0.13, handle thickness of 0.5, and a weight of 3.4 ounces. So it's not a lightweight, but it's not a total tank. One thing they've changed from the original Techno is this is thinner in almost all regards. Thinner blade stock, thinner handles, which I think is a good move. And also the original Techno had a big blue backspacer. This has these, acid green backspacers, which honestly is the only thing I don't like about in the look of this knife. We'll talk about that more. Let's do some size comparisons. We have first up one of our standards, another Spyderco, your Paramilitary 2. We're going to do quite a few size comparisons on this, just to, because we're going to go through our standards, and then we're going to get to some of the ones that are more in its size range, so you can see it's not a big knife. How about your Para 3? Spyderco Para 3. Again, still significantly smaller than that. Now we'll go into some of the stuff that's more kind of in its size range. First of all, let's look at like a Spyderco Dragonfly. How about that? I haven't used this one much. Need to do a video about this one too, the Vitoku version. Yeah, it's just a tick bigger than a Dragonfly in length, obviously, and like, its beefiness. It's a much beefier knife. But now, a couple that it more compares to, and perhaps you're going to see a three-way battle to the death with these. Oh, no, I'm totally failing on flipping there. We have your Wee Roxy. Pretty similar to that. And your Best Tech Engine, just a little bit bigger than that. Kind of feeling a three-way battle to the death with these three. Kind of thinking I might do that. This is a loaner. I do have to send it back by the end of the week, so if I do this, I gotta do it quick. But yeah, you might see that coming up. So as you can see, pretty small knife. Again, getting back to the looks of it, I like the general overall look of it. I really do. You guys know that I like the deep carry pocket clip. This is a finished one, which is already starting to show some wear on it. Not much, but just a little bit. But it's going to continue to do that. I kind of almost just wish when they do the wire clips, don't try and coat them or do anything with them. Just make them the silver. It's fine, and they don't show the wear as much. I like the finish, but again, a couple little marks here and there already on it, and this is a pretty new knife. that's just a thing you get with titanium. There's nothing you can really do about that. When you have big titanium slabs, they're going to snail trail. They're going to do stuff like that. But one finish choice I do really like is the finish on this blade is fantastic. You can see my Ferrari flag reflecting above you and all my posters. Like, you can almost read the pictures and the posters and stuff. It's crazy. I do really, really love the finish on this blade. It looks great. It's just like a polished stone wash, but man, it looks good. I do have to say. As far as the quality of it goes, pretty darn good. It's a Taichung Spyderco. I don't really have any issues. Lockup's pretty good. Centering is perfect. All that stuff you'd expect. Yeah, it's not bad. The blade, it is not the sliceiest thing in the world, but as far as everyone, I'm just going to echo what everyone else has said, because honestly, like I said, I've not handled the original Techno. It's not super thin behind the edge. It's like, it averages between, like, 26 and 28 thousandths, depending on where you're measuring it on the blade. Slice is fine enough. I have no problem with XHP at this price. I really like XHP. It's one of my favorite steels, so I have no issues with that. Yeah, not the slicest thing in the world, not the pierciest thing ever, because it's got kind of this sheep's footy sort of shape to it. But I'm okay with the blade on it for something like this. For one of these little big knives, they're not something you're doing gigantic tasks with usually. I'm okay with it. As far as the ergonomics, I really like the ergonomics on this for the size of this knife. Caveat always, you have to say when you're reviewing these small knives, for the size of it, works good. Can I get 4 fingers on it? No, absolutely not. But it's really comfortable. It really is. And honestly, a big part of that is, and another reason why I like the wire clip is because of the wire clip. When you're really holding it, it'll squish a little bit. You know what I mean? Where a bent clip, or especially a titanium mill clip, it ain't going anywhere. So if you're holding on it, it's not going to move. This, when you squeeze down really hard, it will move a little bit, that's a good thing to me. Jimping is perfectly placed, and just the absolute perfect amount of, just enough jimping to hold your finger in place without being uncomfortable at all. I do really like the ergonomics on this. Forward finger choil on a knife this size would take away so much as far as the usable blade length and all that stuff. But a really, really comfortable knife to handle for its size. I do have to say, quite impressed with that. It carries really, really well. It is deep carry clip technically, but yeah, you do have a little bit sticking out still. I'm not super upset about that. I wouldn't have minded if it was a bit more, but on a knife this size, I understand why you want the lanyard holder. I know normally I do rail on Spyderco about poor pocket clip placement for the sake of a lanyard hole, but on a knife this size, I kind of forgive it. Because a lot of people are going to want lanyards on a little small knife like this, and I understand why you would. And looking at the design, yeah, I can't really figure out where else you'd put it without it, hitting the lock bar, which we don't want that. So, yeah, I'm all right with it. Action, pretty good. Just phosphor bronze washers, nothing fancy. There's no ball bearings or anything like that, but it works great. Snappy little thing. You can Spidey flick it. You will see that the deployment hole is partly covered, but at least my skinny little fingers can still get in there and still Spidey flick it with no issues whatsoever. Not drop shutty. You got to give a little bit of a flick, but with a little bit of a flick, it closes pretty well. So that's not bad. I think for this small of a blade and being on bronze washers, the action is actually pretty great. D10 is excellent. There is no over travel stop, which I was kind of surprised by. Just because that's just a thing you see everywhere now. I don't know. It's not there. I'm just going to say there is not an over travel stop, so that was kind of surprising. Overall, I do really like it. I've never held the original one, so I cannot say definitively if it's an improvement or not. The only things I don't like are these freaking acid green. I don't know why you do that. Even if you love green, you have to admit This is the only color option there is. The mass market, why? Why did you do that? You could have stuck with blue. I just think green is a polarizing color. Maybe that's just me, but especially this bright acid green. You either really, really like it or you really, really hate it. And I really, really hate it. I think if the original Techno had a blue backspacer, why don't you just do blue to stick with the theme? Or even better yet, make them black or whatever. It's, don't really understand that. The price, $214.50, I think it's fine, but it's absolutely not a bargain. I mean, I wouldn't call it that. The lack of an over travel stop, I don't think that's going to be an issue for 99.999% of users, but if that's something that's going to bother you, then let that be known. And my last little nitpick, I do wish this was just a plain old silver pocket clip. But it's a great little knife, and I said at the beginning, I joked that this guy loaning this to me is going to cost me some money. I think I might buy one. I've got a lot of these little big knives, and I'm kind of trying to narrow it down to just having one or two, and because I've got too many of them right now. And this might be the one that I wind up with. I don't know. It's pretty cool, and I've always wanted one of these swish designs. Somebody's loaning me a Spidey Chef in the next couple of weeks, and yeah, I don't know, that, who knows, that may cost me some money too. But yeah, if you want to get into this kind of market of these Taichung titanium, frame lock slish designs, whatever you want to call them, this is a really good entry into it, and it's a really good little knife. It really is. I wouldn't go as far as to call it like super overly industrial beefy like the original one allegedly was. Again, I have not held one, but just for a cool little knife, whether it's your secondary or your primary, I can't imagine anybody, maybe, I know some people do, but I'm not going to carry a $214 knife for a secondary. If I'm carrying this is going to be my main knife. Yeah, perfect for EDC tasks. Very well built. Quite impressed with it. Do wish, and I'm always going to say this about Spyderco, in the packaging, I think a knife this price, it should come in a better box than this. It's just the plain old Spyderco box with some little information. I do love the information, that's cool, but you buy anything from We or anybody else, or get even U.S. companies, Hogue, anybody like this, you're spending this much money, you're getting a little zip pouch, all that kind of stuff. Do I use those zip pouches? No, I do not, because I have cases, but I like to know they're there. Always going to complain about that on higher price Spydercos, but pretty cool little knife. Very glad I got my hands on it. You will see it again, probably. I'm going to try and record a little three-way battle to the death between the Bestech engine and the Roxy in this, and then we'll see how that comes out. But I'll probably do that in the next couple days, but I won't put it up for a while because I got to send this back. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Very cool little knife. Very, very happy I got to get my hands on it. I've been Brian. Have a good one.